welcome to episode 63 of the Arctic Knitting Podcast. My name is Emilia and I am as always coming to you from the northern part of Norway. If you are a new viewer, then thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really hope you enjoy it, and if you are a returning viewer, then thank you so much for coming back to me week after week, especially if you've been there since the beginning. You can find me everywhere online as Arctic Knitting. I'm Arctic Knitting on Instagram, I'm Arctic Knitting on Ravelry. If you go to arcticyarns.com, that's my shop where you can buy my hand-dyed yarn. If you go over to Facebook and search for the Arctic Knitting Podcast, you will find a group there. All of this is also going to be linked down below, where all the action is going on. So there's a Facebook group and there's a Ravelry group as well. Today I have a little bit of stuff that I want to share with you. I just want to start out with saying that I'm not sick at the moment, but my voice is a little bit... yeah. So I tried to film this yesterday and then I started to edit it and my voice was super scratchy. So I'm just trying again today. And I see sirens. Anyway, today I have admin to talk with you about. I have one work in progress and one finished object. I have a little bit of spinning and I have a little bit of Arctic yarn update. So let's start with the admin stuff. Today is Wednesday the 21st of November, and next Wednesday the 28th of November I am going to bring my yarn and I'm going to do a pop-up shop or a trunk show or whatever you want to call it on Værbitt in Oslo. So I really hope that lots of people will find their way there to say hello to me and spend some time with me. I'm really looking forward to spending the day at Værbitt. I've never been to the store before, and if you're not familiar, Oslo is a 2-hour plane ride away from me, and I can't wait to see Laila's store. She's so amazing. I've seen her yarn and I met her at several festivals, and she's an amazing dyer and an amazing person, and I can't wait to spend a little bit of time with her in her shop. So that's next Wednesday. I will be there when the shop opens and I will stay there until it closes, which is from 11 until 6, and I hope to see you there. The second thing I wanted to talk with you about was VLOGEMBER. That's not going too well. Every now and then I try to do weekly vlogs throughout the month. It's just not doable. It's not something I can do with my life. Basically all of my days is I go to work, I get back home, I spend time with Ludwig, I make dinner, I put him to bed, and it's 8 o'clock and I haven't done anything that was worth filming. And then I'm too tired to actually start making vlogs. So I kept at it for 4 days, then I did 2 days later in the month. But I'm going to stop trying to do VLOGEMBER. I'm just not going to push myself to try to do something that, to be honest, isn't really much. It isn't as fun as it's supposed to be, just because it's so much pressure to actually take up the camera and film. I have been thinking about doing weekend vlogs instead. On weekends I sure don't want to take up the camera because I want to spend time with my family. And if you're spending time with other people in my family, like my parents or his grandparents or siblings or whatever, I don't want to push a camera up their nose. So that's just the way it is going to be. There isn't going to be vlogs for me throughout the month. That being said, that doesn't mean that there won't be vlogs for me coming ever. It just means that I won't try to do them daily over a longer period of time, but every now and then there might pop up a vlog on this channel. I'm thinking that when Vlogmas starts happening, I will probably put up a few vlogs throughout December, but I won't do Vlogmas with daily vlogs. Also, the other thing is that when I start vlogging, I really feel like making more knitting related content. I want to make a yarn store tour, I want to make a special weaving video, a spinning video, I want to talk about my favorite books, all of that sort of stuff. So I have decided that instead of trying to do the vlogs, I'm just going to divide. It's going to be 3 types of video coming from this channel forward. There's going to be a podcast, which is what is going to come anyway, and that is the main sort of video that you will get on this channel. There is going to be vlogs every now and then. They are probably going to be few and far between, but they are coming every now and then. And there are going to be minisodes, which is going to be knitting related, smaller videos where I maybe show how do I knit the pearl stitch or how do I knit with 2 colors. I actually did that, link up here. And I am putting up a video now on spinning, and I will be putting up a video on my local yarn store, the yarn store that I work in, a local yarn store tour. And like, it's stuff like that. I'm going to show you my favorite books, I want to show you my favorite yarns, I want to talk about my favorite colors, I want to show you how I dye, I want to do all that stuff, and they are going to come as minisodes. So I think that's it for admin, but if you have anything that you want to see from me as a minisode or in a vlog or in the podcast, put a comment down below, because I have this list on my phone where I put in all the suggestions I get, so that every now and then, if I just feel like I want to do something, I can go into that list and see if there's anything there I want to make a video on. And I know that I will get many people say that I should just make whatever makes me happy, and the reason that I ask you is because I just need new ideas. And if you come with the suggestions, I'm going to write it down, but I'm not making any promises that I'm going to make them. So please hit me with suggestions down below. So I think we are ready to move into finished objects, and this week I have one. I don't think you've seen it before. It is a garment, but it's a small garment. It's for Ludwig, my 3-year-old son. Well, I'm always about to say 2-year-old, but he is 3. I have used this yarn. This is Vams PT3 from Rauma. It's a thicker yarn of Norwegian wool. I think it's like an iron weight or something. This color is colorway number 3. Not sure if you can see that, but it's a basic gray. The other color that I've used is 403, which is this green, and it's sort of a heathered green. And yeah, this is one of the new colors in this. They recently came out with 12 new colors, which are all heathered, like this one is, and all of those colors are amazing, so I really wanted to start working with one of them. At the same time as they came with those colors, they came with 2 booklets. One was called Vams Dame, which is Vams Woman, and Vams Barn was the other one, which is translated into Vams Children. So basically there were 2 booklets, one for women and one for children. And this yarn is worked up on 5mm needles, which I think is a US 8. I'll correct it down here if I'm wrong, but I think it's a US 8. And this is one of the patterns that is in that booklet. It's just a basic raglan. It's made top down. It has short, what's it called? Short rows in the back to make it higher in the back. Yeah, there's not really anything special about this. It's just a basic raglan with stripes. I love how this yarn knits up, and it's 100% wool yarn, so it will be warm and cozy, and also it's quite thick, so it's going to be for Ludwig so that he can wear it in kindergarten when they are out playing, because they're out a lot, and when we go on hikes or go to the cabin and stuff like that. The thing is that even though this may look plain and simple to lots of you guys, and it really is plain and simple, it's just a basic raglan, this one is made top down, which isn't really the way to go in Norway. Most commercial companies make their patterns bottom up. I have no idea. It's starting to come a little bit. Every now and then they have a pattern that is made top down, but it isn't normal, so to say. And also it has short rows, which isn't really normal in Norway either, because we mainly make our garments bottom up with raglan or a rounded yoke, and then we just bind off. We don't do any short rows, which makes everything look weird on me. And many of the customers in the yarn store that I work in, they don't even know how to do short rows. I have people saying that they feel like it is mostly that it's crawling up in the front, because I think people are used to it being too low in the back, but when they start crawling up in the front, they get a little bit, they don't really want that, so they come back to the store and say, what am I going to do with this? And I show them how to work short rows, and people are like, of course, because you don't notice these things unless you know about them. It's like, I remember the first time I had worked a couple of yokes. I don't have anything finisher, but I had worked a couple of yokes that looked like this. There were no short rows, they were the same height back and front, And this was normal. This is what I thought a sweater was going to look like. Then someone told me, because I said that the Marius that I made was too low in the back. And someone said, you should do some short rows in the Norwegian internet forum. And I was like, you should do some short rows. I'm like, short rows? What are those? I never heard about that. It's called forkorta rader in Norwegian, in case anyone wonders. And someone told me that I should do those, and I didn't really understand. I was like, yeah, but will that help? Because I couldn't see how that would do anything different. And someone told me, just go to your wardrobe. Just go find a basic sweater that you have bought, lay it flat, and you will see that the back is actually higher than the front. The sweaters that you like are most likely higher in the back than in the front. So short rows are such a simple way to make such a huge difference, and still we don't use them in Norway, and I don't really understand why. And if we are putting them in a pattern, most of the time it will just say, knit X amount of stitches, turn. And people are coming back like, how am I going to turn? There's going to be a hole there. It's like, yeah, you can't really do it as it says in the pattern. So that's nice. Norwegian pattern. We should do a special episode on Norwegian pattern and the way they are written. That's a mini-sode idea. But I love this. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring it to the store for a couple of days to like hang it there so people can see the yarn knit up into garments, because this is the kind of yarn that people are mostly people are knitting mittens and felting them, so maybe I should bring them so people could see it in a garment. But at the same time I really want to give it to Ludwig, so I might just do that. Or he could get it in his advent calendar. That could be an idea. Now I'm just thinking here, and you just have to sit there and listen. Or you could turn off, you know. Today I'm only going to show you one work in progress as well, at least when it comes to knitting. And yeah, let's see here. I started this a while back. Everyone in Norway and probably Denmark as well seems to be knitting it. If you go on to... Okay, I'm just going to show you first. The yarn that I'm knitting this in is Rauma Plum. And as you can see, it's this mohair yarn. It's really thin. Can't really see the thread. Anyway, it's a thin mohair. The reason I show you two balls is because I'm holding the yarn double all the way. I'm knitting on 4mm needles with 3mm for the ribbings. And this is how far I've gotten. So basically I have a vest. I really love this. It feels like wearing a cloud. Yesterday when I recorded, the one that you won't see, the one with the scratchy voice, I had just come down to after the blue one, and I did the ribbing last night. This one is taking forever. It's just simply taking all of the time. I thought this would be kind of a quick knit because it's 4mm needles, but it isn't. It's not at all. I don't really understand why, because it's just basic back and forth. I think what is making this take so long is the pearl rows with 2 strands of silk mohair. I think that's the reason that it's taking forever. So now that I finished the main body, I am going to start working on the sleeves. And there's going to be like balloon sleeves. I'm not sure what it's called. It's called ballongarmer and Norwegian balloon sleeves. They're going to be knit straight. I'm going to pick up stitches here, pick up stitches under the arm, and then I'm going to knit all of the stripes, same stripes as here. Then one yellow stripe at the bottom. And then I'm going to do a much decrease on the last row before I start ribbing. So there is no decrease to keep track of. It's just round and round and round, so I'm hoping that this will go pretty quick. But then I will have to pick up stitches and make the rib. And I used a whole night on this little ribbing. It's just the knitting with 2 strands of mohair is just not the simplest thing to do. It's not hard, it just takes a long time. I'm thinking it must be the yarn. But it feels like a cloud. It's going to be so gorgeous to wear it. I think I said last time I talked about this that I was a little bit unsure about the colors, because I'm not sure about this light blue. But I think it will be okay. I decided yesterday or a couple of days ago, because I'm trying to finish up some stuff, that I was just going to go on with the blue, see how it turns out, and because I just want this finished and off the needles. And I don't care about the colors. This is going to get a lot of wear anyway, just because it's so freaking soft, and I think it's going to be warm as well. This is going to be one of those cardigans that I will just throw on top of a t-shirt or whatever and wear to work or wear at home, or just, you know, just one of those perfect cardigans. I mentioned really quickly now that I was going to finish up some stuff, and I just finished that, and after that I had 10 more projects on the needles. After this I will have 9, and I had decided, because I'm just looking at, because I have a list of all my projects, because I have just been cleaning them out. I have a sweater that isn't really casted on, but I'm going to knit for the store, that is knitting up 3 strands of silk mohair. That's Sunday silk mohair, but it's still a mohair yarn. I have the Klukka dress. I have 3 pair of mittens. I have this. I have an anti-satin cardigan, and I have a duo dress, which basically means that I have 2 dresses and 3 cardigans. And I also have a sweater for Ludwig, that isn't this one. So I wanted to get something off the needles, because it's just taking up too much room, and I want to like free the needles a bit. I don't really understand why, because I don't really, it doesn't bother me that it's there, but there's so many projects here that I want to have the finished project, that I decided to do a little bit of finishing. Just grab one project, work on it until it's done, and then move on to the next one. And that's what I did with this. I just grabbed it, I finished it, then I stretched down, took whatever was on the top, which turned out to be this, and I'm going to finish that. And my plan was initially to just grab down, take the next one, which would have been the Klukka dress. And planning, or I'm really good at planning. Planning is one of my strong sides. I really know how to make a good plan. I have no idea how the fuck to stick to it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have no idea how to stick to a plan. So I had decided that I was going to finish up some stuff. I also have 2 embroidery projects, 2 spinning projects, and a weaving project. So I decided that I'm just going to buy a new embroidery project, because embroidery is something that I never finish with, because I don't really like doing it. So I bought this pattern, or this packet, to make a stocking. I'm going to take it out. So this is the pattern. And I'm going to try to finish this before the 23rd of December, so that Ludwig can get his own stocking that his mom made in his calendar, so that he can hang it and have Santa come visit him at night, and he will get stuff in his stocking. But this is the kind, you can see, it's not a fine fabric, so I'm thinking this would be okay. Also, I'm not going to sew it together, I'm just going to embroider it, deliver it to a lady at work that is going to sew it together for me. And I hope that Ludwig will get this year. Then I was like, yeah, no, I definitely need to stop buying things and stop casting on things, because I really need to finish some stuff. But there is this thing, and I had decided not to do it, but then Lilli of Nordic Stitches sent me a message yesterday and said, do you have the pattern for this in your store? And I said, yes, I want to cast it on. And before I went home from work, I had bought yarn and pattern for this one. So this is a pattern by Sunny's Garn. I'm thinking I will be able to finish it up before Christmas. And I'm laughing as I said that, because it will probably never be finished before Christmas. But if I finish this before this Christmas, it's a raglan sleeve, so it will, you don't have to do any sewing and stuff like that. Not that that will bother me. It's actually, maybe I should just do it as a satin sleeve. But it's a raglan sleeve. Let's see if I can find a better picture, because there actually is one here. There it is. And it's a pattern from Sonnes. And they have knitted their sample in Sonnes alpaca. And I have no idea why. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can even see in the photo that the stitching isn't really, or the knitting isn't really nice. Because you can see, like, between the Christmas trees here, I'm not sure if you can see it at all, but I can see it on this booklet, that between the Christmas tree you can see green popping up, peeking out through the white. You can see brown through the white here. You can actually see in the picture that the stitches isn't sticking together. And I don't like working with alpaca yarns, especially not for stranded knitting. So I decided that I was going to go with finer. Finer is normally knit up at a stitch as 26 stitches, and this one is knit up at 22. But I'm going to try to go up on needle size or use 3.5 because the yarn says that this will give you about 26 stitches on 3mm needles, and this one says that you should 26 stitches on 3mm needles. And this one said that you should have 22 stitches on 3.5. So I'm going to go up to 3.5, knit a swatch. Probably means that I will go to start with an arm. See how I like the fabric, and if not, I'm just going to rewrite the pattern to work with this yarn because I really want to use this yarn. So I bought the yarn and the pattern for that, and so much for finishing up stuff. So that was what I had about knitting, but I have a new acquisition that I'm going to show you right here. That's right, I bought a wheel. As you know, I have been looking to get a wheel for quite some time now, and not quite some time, it's not like I've been looking for years, it's just a couple of months. And I've been really wanting a wheel, and I am blaming Grace of Babbles Traveling Yarns, which has an amazing podcast. She's always trying out new stuff, trying to learn stuff, looking into new crafts, looking into new techniques, and I really enjoy watching that, and I really enjoy doing that as well. I used to do much more of that earlier in my crafting, and now I want to try everything again. If I ever get bankrupt because I spend all my money on crafting supplies, I'm going to blame Grace. Because I was talking with Lilli about it yesterday, how some people just enables you, and whatever they talk about you want to buy. And some podcasters are like that. They enable you to start a new craft, they enable you to buy some new yarn, try out new dyers, maybe try new techniques, stuff like that. Grace has, until now, I have been watching her since March, she has enabled me to buy a loom and a wheel. So this is getting expensive. But I'm having so much fun with it, and yeah. So I bought the wheel after watching Grace, and I have also been watching Christine of Wool and Vine. She is doing a little bit of spinning, and everything she does I want to do. And Amy from the Stranded podcast, she has also done a little bit of spinning lately, and she has this really nice bobbins that is 3D printed, and I want bobbins like that because those are so cool. That's why I did this. I bought a bleed so I can buy those cool bobbins. And she's also dyed some fiber lately, and I managed to snag some of that in her latest update, but it hasn't come my way yet, so that will be for another episode. And of course my really good friend Lilli from the Nordic Stitches, she's like the queen of drop spindling, and she taught me how to drop spindle via the phone, and I think that's a little bit of the reason that that's not a little bit, that's a big part of the reason that I bought a wheel now. So basically I was inspired by this whole community to start spinning, and I think it's so cool. And I just tangled up my yarn. Yeah, whatever. So I went up to my craft room after getting the wheel, and I went up and I got some pencil rovings that I was gifted by Cathryn of Crafternoon. It's a pencil roving that she got from her local mill, and she had dyed it. And I decided that I was going to try that. It was a 50-gram cake of pencil roving. And I spun it until I had 25 grams left. Then I changed the bobbin and spun the Then Then I changed the bobbin and spun the rest of it before I plied it together as a 2-ply. And I think this looks like so much fun, and I think it's pretty well balanced. It's hanging pretty straight, and that's a good thing, isn't it? I don't really know spinning, but I think it's a really pretty yarn. I'm not sure what to do with it because it's only 50 grams, but I'm thinking that I'm going to put it in my stash for now, and then maybe it will turn into a hat. Come on, focus. And then maybe I would turn it into a hat as time goes by, because, or I could maybe spin up some white yarns in the same thickness and use it, or probably use this with Fibre Ull, so I could make some mittens or use it as in-stranded knitting. But I haven't decided. Focus. Oh, I haven't really decided yet. When I was done plying this, of course I had a little bit of single left on one of the bobbins, so I decided to do a 3-ply, and that's the yarn that I tangled up. You see it's a tangle there, but I decided to do a chain ply, and I'm not really see if you can see the yarn. Let's see if I can take these 3 strands. I tried to chain ply it. I managed to do it in some sort of way. This is highly over twisted though, but you can see that there's only a few meters of this. It's only 3 rounds, so 3 meters maybe. And I felt like I was struggling a bit in the beginning, and then just as I was feeling like, hey, I'm starting to get a hang of it, I was out of singles. So I'm definitely going to do a chain ply sometime later. I have no idea when. But then after I finished that one, I was like, no, I want to spin for real. So I found this poleward fiber that I have bought from Tante Ull at midtnorsk strikkefestival. And if you aren't familiar with Tante Ull, she's a Norwegian. She's like the queen of spinning in Norway or something like that. She dyes on fiber. She dye yarn, and she has a podcast in Norwegian that I'm going to link down below. And she has been so much help with me trying to find a wheel. I sent her a message on Instagram asking her about wheels earlier, because it's like buying a wheel for the first time is kind of like buying knitting needles for the first time when you have no idea what all the numbers mean. You just know that you need some needles, and some of them says 2 and some of them says 4 and some of them says 12, and you have no idea what you need. So what most people do with knitting needles is they just grab something and they figure it out as they go along. But with wheels, there are a lot more of a bigger investment. So I didn't want to just grab something, and really I should have gone somewhere to try a wheel, but I live in a place where there's a 2-hour plane ride, 2-hour flight to the nearest place that sells wheel. And there's not like there's a guild or anything here. I was showing off this wheel that I got to some of the people in my guild, and I didn't believe it was a wheel. They thought it looked weird because they are used to just the old ones that has been inherited for generations, and I really wanted a new one. So I kept on messaging Tante Ull, asking her about the specification, what does that mean, and she told me a little bit about what was important, what I should look for, which kind of wheel, yeah, stuff like that. She just helped me a lot. And then when I found this wheel, because it wasn't bought from a supplier in Oslo, it was bought from a private person, so I sent her a link and she checked it out. She knew who he was, and that the wheel was a perfectly fine beginner wheel. It's not one of the cheapest one, but it's not really expensive either. If I decide I don't like spinning, I could always sell it. Yeah, basically I ended up buying that wheel. And then I had actually bought this from her before I bought the wheel. So I started spinning on this one, and I have just started with the first bobbin, and this is so far I've gotten. And I want this to make the color is much more autumn in real life. It's not as bright yellow. But then I have started spinning on this. I'm going to make this either a 2-ply or a chain ply, and I want to make this into a shawl because this is so totally a color that I would wear around my neck. Yeah, I have no idea how to talk about spinning because I don't really know the terminology, but I'm having so much fun trying it. I spin a little bit every day just to get to know the wheel and yeah, get used to it. But I want one of those pretty bobbins that Emmy have. I wonder if they are made for my wheel. I'm going to go on over to Etsy and check. Not that I'm in any place to spend any more money on spinning right now. Anyway, so that was it for knitting and spinning. I thought I would talk a little bit about Arctic yarns. I have gotten lots of messages. I think I've answered every single one of them. I've got messages on Ravelry, Instagram, and on email, and also on YouTube from people who's wondering if the advents calendar are sent out, and yes, they are. They were sent out over a week ago. They should start reaching people now. It was sent out, I'm sorry, I don't remember the date. But as I mentioned in the last episode or in the vlog, I'm not sure, the yarn that was supposed to go into the calendar was delayed from one of my suppliers. So basically I just had to go all in, and I used 2 weeks. I was working around the clock, but I got them out in time. And I'm so pleased with that, and I hope that it will reach all of you in time. Now that the calendars are done, we are coming up next Wednesday. I will do the pop-up at Værbitt, and thank you so much to Lila for inviting me. I'm really looking forward. Even if I wasn't doing a pop-up there, I think I would spend the whole day in that store because it just sounds amazing. I'm also doing a shop update this Friday. I'm going to put up yarn for this. This is a design by Soren Care that I have knitted up. This is on my sparkly merino. This is on my sparkly merino base, and it just looks awesome because of the sparkle. Makes it even more wintry. So I brought this with me as a sample to some of the festivals I've been to this fall, and people have been asking for this yarn. So that is going up to the shop this Friday. And this Friday is also Black Friday, so there will be a discount. It won't be a big discount because really I can't afford to like drop the prices of my yarn, but there will be a free shipping for everyone that buys 3 skein or more, and there will also be a discount code for all of my patterns on Ravelry. And if you want to get that discount code, you have to go over to my website, scroll all the way down, and sign up for my newsletter, because that is where the discount code is going to come out this Friday. I don't send out very many newsletters, but I send out whenever I have news in the store. I don't send out every shop update either, but I do send out every now and then for a shop update when I have something new, a new color, new bases, stuff like that. When I have a new pattern. And if you want to know what's going on with Arctic yarns, you get on over there and sign up for the newsletter. And that's also, every now and then there's going to be like early releases of patterns and special discounts for the newsletter subscribers. So if you want that, yeah. And if you don't want that, that's totally okay. I'm not being offended by anyone not wanting to buy my yarn. That's totally okay. So I think that's it for this episode, and I think this recording went better than the last one. I think I said everything that I wanted to say, and it's currently 9:40. And the sun is about to come up, and it's going to be up for 3 hours, but I won't see it. Yeah, I think that's it, and I will just stop here. And I remember, if you have any suggestions for things that you want to see either in the podcast, the minisodes, or the vlogs, let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you have any questions for me, drop them down below and I will answer them in the next video or episode I put up. And thank you so much for spending some time with me, and you can hear that my voice is now starting to crack up again. So I'm just going to stop here. Thank you, and hope you have a nice week, and don't go all bananas on Black Friday, and I will see you again in a week. Bye.